Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. So today is the anniversary of Torchwood, Children of Earth. Now, for me, whether it's Doctor Who, Torchwood, the Sarah Jane Adventures, Russell T Davies created a connected franchise with Doctor Who. It's all part of Doctor Who's world, whether it's the main Doctor Who show, Torchwood, or Sarah Jane. Now, he brought back our Sarah Jane in such a magnificent way and created her own show on CBBC, but it was a show we all watched. If you're a fan of Who, you watched it, you loved it. Mr. Smith, what a fantastic idea he was as well. But anyway, right, just a great franchise that he gave us. So, Children of Earth is basically the Empire Strikes Back of Russell T Davies' Doctor Who franchise. It's a dark story. You know, Captain Jack, when he was in Doctor Who, was this swashbuckling, positive kind of... He was amazing, wasn't he? He was the Han Solo of Doctor Who. And I think for Russell T Davies, he was wish fulfillment. That's who Russell T Davies sees as himself. Because obviously John Barrowman, who played Captain Jack Harkness, who of course still does audio adventures with Big Finish, some awesome ones as well, and has been so passionate about wanting to bring the show back to TV, and hopefully one day that happens, is obviously he is a gay man, and Russell T Davies is also a gay man. So I think there was some wish fulfillment. But of course Captain Jack Harkness wasn't just gay. He would sleep with, you know, basically anything or anyone. He was that kind of character. Absolutely fantastic. And I think the kind of LBGTQ commentary with Captain Jack Harkness is amazing. But what Russell or John didn't do is make you feel like you've just been hit over the head with a sledgehammer. It was done in a fantastic way. Here's a fabulous character you're going to fall in love with. And guess what? He's LBGTQ as well, right? And he wants to sleep with everyone. He wants to love everyone and everything. And he was amazing. He was a parallel to the Doctor, really. So Children of Earth, though, turns Captain Jack Harkness into Jack Bauer into 24. He's a wanted man. He has to make a massive sacrifice. And, of course, Peter Capaldi, the future Doctor, would be in this adventure as well. It was an amazing 5-episode arc that was on from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was on for a whole week. So it wasn't the 10, 12, 13 episode. It was kind of a mini season, really. But it was fantastic and really, really dark. We met Captain Jack's sister. And ultimately, he had to sacrifice his nephew. It was his nephew. I haven't seen it for such a long time. But as I say, this was the Empire Strikes Back of this franchise. And it's absolutely brilliant. I believe in 100 years' time, people will be scratching their heads how Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, and Phil Collinson brought this franchise to the TV. 3 different shows. The interconnectivity was amazing. The kind of interconnectivity we haven't seen since, you know, Kevin Feige's Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was such a success. It was so good. We all watched it. We all lapped it up. They were winning fucking awards every week. But it was a different time. So, right, you had different cultures in Russell T Davies' Doctor Who. But again, it was done in a way where every actor who played a character deserved to play that character, no matter what colour their skin was, what country they were from. And again, any kind of LBGTQ character was there, but they were educational. So if you were brought up in a family that was, you know, with parents who were very, very homophobic, right, or kind of anti-LBGTQ, it was great education just to see people from different walks of life and be educated. And that changed my thinking. So from the hatred I was born into and learnt from, I was watching Captain Jack kissing the Doctor. And for the first time when I saw 2 people from the same sex kiss each other, I wasn't like, ugh, you know, which was that's a horrible thing for me to admit, but that's how I was brought up. but TV and film can educate people. So when you say to me, I'm a sexist because I might say something against the female doctor or anything, right? That's not the point, is it? When something is done properly, but you still got the entertainment, you still got the fleshing out of characters, it's really strong and really powerful. But we are now in an era where it's not about entertaining people. It's not about writing great Doctor Who, having great actors as the Doctor. It's all about representation. Now, Russell T Davies' franchise had representation, but it also had great storytelling. Yes, unfortunately now, politically, the entertainment industry is in a place where they think they don't have to entertain people. They just have to represent different groups of people and leave it at that. So now there is a division. There is a culture war among us. And the culture war is being fought here on YouTube, if you like. I've just admitted something really, really important and personal to you. I've admitted that I was brought up in a very homophobic background. But thanks to Russell T Davies and thanks to his Doctor Who franchise, I was educated to open my heart to the whole world, to everyone, no matter what their sexual preferences are or their backgrounds are. I think that's massive, and that just goes to show you that great creatives can really teach you something, really educate you, but still entertain you. So, and this is what the kind of feelings I have today, feelings of gratitude and thankfulness for Russell T Davies when I think of Children of Earth, right? Because it is Children of Earth. I keep on getting confused with Children of Earth and Children of Men. So when I think about that episode, it really is the darkest kind of story from Russell's Doctor Who franchise, but it works on so many levels. It's extremely very different. We see a lot of political characters. We see a lot of different things coming on. There's more dialogue than there is action, but it's the most interesting version of Torchwood we've ever seen. Of course, what came after that, which was, I think, was Miracle Day, if I remember rightly, and that was very divisive. I think when we got to the latest, the end journey of Miracle Day, then we saw more and more of Captain Jack, and we saw the backflash of him and his lover and that backstory. It was very, very compelling. But at the start of Miracle Day, the problem was there wasn't very much Captain Jack or Gwen, and I think they spent so much time introducing characters we weren't interested in. That's where the problem lied. But in terms of Torchwood, Children of Men, right? Or Children of Earth. I keep getting it wrong. Children of Earth is there's some great commentary there, and I think John Barrowman delivers his best performance. Some people think John can't act, but I think in that story he proves he can act. It's really compelling. And really, more than kind of focusing too much on that kind of story, I'm really focusing on what Russell was able to give Doctor Who. Doctor Who was a show that a certain type of person liked in the 60s, 70s and 80s. It wasn't a worldwide phenomenon or anything like that. It had a core audience, but Russell T Davies made this a commercial success worldwide. It became mainstream, it became popular, and really a lot of people will say, oh, Stephen Moffat made it popular in America. Without what Russell did, that would never have been possible. And in fact, it was Russell T Davies who brought Stephen on to write episodes in his franchise. So really, the success story, and the biggest success story, is that Russell T Davies and Julie Gardner and Phil Collinson were able to stick together within a 5-year framework of this franchise. It's the biggest achievement in Doctor Who history. It won't be achieved again. We see how they're struggling. The mentality has changed. Really, if you want to enjoy Doctor Who, modern day Doctor Who, just watch that on a loop. And how do you watch Russell T Davies' Doctor Who franchise if you want to watch it all together as a big saga? Because it does have a beginning, middle and ending. Well, you have to watch Season 1 and Season 2 back to back, right? I think that's right. And then what you do is, I think you watch the first episode. First you watch, I think you watch the Christmas. Yeah, no, basically, right. You watch the Christmas special just before Season 3 of Doctor Who. And I think then you watch Torchwood Season 1 and you alternate with Season 3 episodes of Doctor Who. Then eventually, Torchwood Season 1 will finish, the TARDIS arrives, and then it clashes with the last 3 episodes where the Master arrives and Captain Jack shares his adventure with the Doctor, and they meet up again, and that's awesome. That really is connectivity for you. The whole of Torchwood season 1 is about Captain Jack finding the Doctor. It's not blatantly said. We see the Doctor's hand in the jar of water, but obviously in the end we realise who that hand belongs to. It's brilliant. It's genius by Russell T Davies. Then we get season 3. And then you kind of alternate with Doctor Who seasons and Torchwood season 2, and you can just watch them together. And I think the Sarah Jane adventures either started when season 3 of Doctor Who was on, or maybe even season 4, and we saw David Tennant's Doctor in it, I think, if I remember rightly, and we definitely saw Matt Smith's Doctor in it. So it was all very special, and it was, as I say, the interconnectivity was genius because Russell T Davies is a genius. He can write light, he can write dark, and everything is so much more special when Russell T Davies does it. And they're my memories of Torchwood, Children of Earth. What do you think about that season of Torchwood, that mini season? I thought it was amazing. It was dark, it was compelling, and it just sums Russell T Davies up as a storyteller. So comment down below, please like, share and subscribe, and there'll be many more Doctor Who videos to come.